Alright, YouTube. So, on the 1997 International 4700 rollback, this tow truck, when we got it, it had a really bad main seal leak. The oil cooler leaked. It had some leaking in the front seal. The oil cooler mount was, or the oil filter mount was leaking. Trust me, it was just covered in oil. So I ended up ordering Felpro oil pan gasket and t444e lower end gasket kit from Ag Kits. It's a website online. So I ordered both those, and then I found somebody that was better equipped than me to pull the engine, reseal it all, and reinstall it. The only thing that the kit didn't include that needed resealed is the top breather on the valve cover. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. I ordered the parts. It was only like 14 or 15 bucks. And in the couple weeks since the truck was sealed up, I haven't seen no oil drips whatsoever. So I'm super stoked about that, because when I bought it, I knew that it needed that, everything sealed up. I knew that it needed a lot of work put into it, but it's a low enough mile truck that I felt it was worth it. So anyways, now I'm able to use it and whatnot more, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these installed. Oh, and then the other project that I'm going to do today is change the fuel filter in the Tiltmaster. That's not really video worthy on its own. And then I was going to fix the gauge cluster in the International, because there's one of the needles fell off of the oil pressure gauge, and so you can't tell what it is. So I'm hoping that I can pull that apart, put the needle back on, and it's going to work again. New fuel filter installed. Truck was started. No leaks. I didn't feel like filming this because it's kind of just basic. But I know that you guys need to believe in yourselves and know that you can do projects like this too. Nothing makes any one of us special, except for the fact that we're made in God's image, and He blessed us with our hands, and so use them. Go out and serve people and help people, and just do productive things in your life, instead of sitting around and sitting around and not believing in yourself, or thinking that somebody else is better than you and are better equipped, or this or that. Just find your blessing, find your talent. Until next time, believe in yourselves, keep building shit. Alright, YouTube, so I got that off. They really didn't have gaskets in there at all. They just had some sealant, and it was obviously failed. You can see there's oil all here. This O-ring was failed, and the other one was completely missing. And up here, you can see that obviously it wasn't sealed, because there's oil all up there. So I'm going to get that cleaned up. I'm going to get this wiped down. And again, just looking at this valley pan, I'm just super happy to know that this motor's just completely sealed up now. It's clean. I can see what's going on. So this is just the last little bit of it. The engine was completely pulled out of this, and every seal, every gasket, everything was redone. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one done. So I got that stuff scraped off. I scratched this one a bit in here. I don't think that it should cause a problem once I put the new seal on, but I got that stuff all scraped out and cleaned out. I got all the oil cleaned off of it. So I'm gonna get it cleaned up on top of the valve cover, and then put it all together with the new seals and the new O-rings. Alright, YouTube, so I threw those O-rings on there. I threw the O-rings on there, so I'm going to go ahead and get this screwed back together. Pretty quick and easy project. Oh, and I got it cleaned up there. I'll walk up and I'll show you. Got that all cleaned up on top. So hopefully it'll seal up nicely. So first I put it back in this hose. And then I dropped it down in without the bolts in, or the screws, whatever. And got it all kind of seated and lined up. And then I put the screws in kind of loose. And now I'm going to kind of center it up as I tighten them down. And we'll call that good. Alright, YouTube, so I pressed down on this as I tighten these, and so that I wasn't putting all the pressure on these top O-rings until the final little bit of cranking. So hopefully that's good and gonna stay sealed, not leak down no more. And then I tighten this hose clamp up in a position that is nice and accessible. So this project's done. Alright, YouTube, so I took off a screw here and a screw at this end, and I was able to get that piece off, which revealed that I need to clean underneath the dash. Then I was able to get this screw and that screw out of the top, and then this screw and that screw out, which my bezel is broken, but at that point I was able to get up underneath like this and squeeze my little fingers up in there and pop the oil pressure needle back on. But in doing that, lifting it up, it tilted the miles per hour over here, so I'm gonna have to get my little fingers up into there and tilt that back even before I button this all up and get it screwed back together. But then I'm thinking I'm gonna end up taking the rest of this dash off and cleaning up here. Alright, YouTube, so I got all the face off of it, and so that I could fix the mile per hour that it tilted. Now this is fixed. I still don't even know if this even works. I've never even had that needle on the gauge since I've owned the truck, so let's start it up and see. Oil pressure's coming up. Fuel's never worked. And this has always been funny. It's always kind of moved around and done funny stuff, so anyways, but it's nice to know that I got oil pressure. I'm gonna get this back together and call that good. Oh, and also the horn didn't work when I bought this truck, but I figured out there's just a wire underneath that hooks to the horn that was loose, so I'm gonna get that fixed. Alright, YouTube, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the screws put back in there and up here on this side, and the ones down here, so that I know that the gauge cluster's not getting messed up no more. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean up here. Alright, YouTube, once I got the center piece out and these two screws here out, I was able to pick that up and sweep everything down here. Got most of it out of there. I'm gonna give it one more quick wipe down with an old t-shirt that I've got sitting here that I was wiping my hands off with, and then I'm gonna get this all back together. Alright, YouTube, so got it all back together. It's all cleaned out up there under the dash, so that's enough projects for one day, but you know, it gives me a self-esteem boost, a self-worth boost. You know, it gives me a sense of self-worth and a sense of accomplishment by doing little things like this for myself. So I know you guys can do the same thing. You just gotta believe in yourselves, get up, get out, build something. Till next time, keep building shit.